Cal Thresher attempts to organize an army against his former business partner, Jackie Ming, in the 9th episode of Season 2 of the criminal drama series Tulsa King on Paramount+. Dwight, the General Manfredi, and Bill Bevilacqua decide to wage war on one another as his worries about the Chinese triad member intensify. The businessman, who lost his empire to Ming and has witnessed his ruthlessness, tries to persuade the two powerful men in the area's crime scene that they shouldn't be focusing on one another. A shocking change of events at the end of the episode begs the issue of what will happen to the triad member. Beware of spoilers. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. Before going to the main topic, I want to say like this video and subscribe to the channel. Dwight Manfredi's first priorities after Jimmy the Creek's death are getting revenge on Bill Bevilacqua and making sure his fellow crew members are safe. At that point, his partner Margaret Devereaux informs him of Jackie Ming's increasing threat. Since the triad member now owns his shares of the Fenario Ranch, Cal Thresher warns the ranch's owner that she might lose her land. After listening to Thresher on Margaret's behalf, Dwight discovers the startling fact that Ming is responsible for the explosion that almost kills his father, Mark Mitchell, and his right-hand man, Tyson Mitchell. Dwight is unable to forgive Ming since Mark doesn't deserve to come close to death as a result of him. Despite his deep-seated animosity toward Bevilacqua, he turns his attention to the triad member. In order to assassinate the man who attempted to kill him, he temporarily joins forces with Thresher and the mobster from Kansas City. Dwight comes up with a plan when Armand Manny Trucy shows up in front of him at the appropriate moment. After persuading Ming to attempt to kill the former mafia boss, he forces Manny to entice him to the property. The triad member and his soldiers arrive to Margaret's property once the plot is successful. To eliminate Ming's force, the general turns to his Native American friends. Dwight then permits Tyson to kill Ming in retaliation for Mark's near-death encounter. He is shocked to be given the chance, but he doesn't think twice about getting even with the person who almost fathered him. The right-hand man eliminates the triad member as a threat to Dwight by killing him with Jimmy's axe. Although the actor's departure from Tulsa King has not been formally confirmed by Paramount+ or Rich Ting, it is currently merely a formality. There is no question that Jackie Ming is dead for good. We might not have to expect to see Bigfoot in the criminal drama series again because the 9th episode of Season 2 concludes with him burying the Chinese triad member inside the stable of Fenario Ranch. There is minimal to no possibility that Ming will appear in the General's visions or nightmares because he is not a character that is closely connected to Dwight. Jackie's behaviors have come up again that affect Dwight in some way. The fact that the former mafia capo has no secrets to reveal suggests that Ting's character won't likely appear in flashback sequences. The character's tale arc comes to an end when the triad member dies, completely eliminating his scope. Thus, it is time for us to say goodbye to the awful villain who terrifies even savage brains like Bevilacqua and Thresher. In particular, Terrence Winter and his authors make good use of Ming's passing by using it to further Tyson's plot. The second part has been progressively showing how Dwight's right-hand guy loses himself in the world of crime and is unable to escape it. The fact that Tyson killed Ming proves that the former has entered this world and cannot be brought back. We may anticipate that this murder will have some sort of impact on the young man's mental state in the second season finale. In the meantime, we expect Ting to provide an equally outstanding performance in the upcoming police procedural series On Call, which stars Brandon Laraquent and Troyan Belisario on Prime Video. Triad, the 9th episode of Season 2 of Paramount+'s criminal drama series, Tulsa King, centers on the events that transpire after Jimmy the Creek is murdered. Along with the friend's family and neighborhood, Dwight, the General Manfredi, and his crew members grieve the loss of their business partner. A startling development turns them into partners who fight a common enemy, despite the former mafia capo's vow to get revenge on Bill Bevilacqua for killing one of his men. With the assistance of Armand Manny Trucy, who welcomes a second chance at life and survival, Dwight allows Tyson Mitchell to slake his desire for vengeance. Beware of spoilers. Triad opens with Jimmy the Creek's burial. Participating in the event, Dwight Manfredi and his team share how much they will miss their comrade. To exact revenge for the murder, the Native American man's family gives the former mafia boss an axe. To help the general get retribution on the individual who killed Jimmy, the community even organizes an army of soldiers. In order to protect the safety of his remaining crew members, Dwight promises to get his revenge on Bevilacqua. In the meantime, the gangster from Kansas City meets with Cal Thresher to talk about their situation. Bevilacqua finds it intolerable that Thresher was in any way accountable for the series of circumstances that left him exposed to Dwight's attacks. Because of the issues the businessman has caused through Jackie Ming, he is even prepared to kill him. Upon realizing that his life is in jeopardy, Thresher persuades the thug to think about the Chinese triad member before preparing to murder him. Ming will allow them and Dwight to battle for control of the kingdoms in Tulsa and Kansas City. He continues. Bevilacqua agrees to this supposition and resolves to work with his Oklahoma counterpart to eradicate the menace. Margaret Devereaux gets Thresher a meeting with Dwight and Bevilacqua. When her former partner attempted to buy her out, the owner of the Fenario Ranch had to sell the businessman a portion of the property's interests. Thresher informs Margaret that the former is interested in the ranch because Ming has become the new lord of his possessions. She becomes concerned and confides in Dwight about the situation, and he consents to speak with his two adversaries about the threat posed by the triad member on her behalf. Chicky Invernizzi enjoys a quiet existence at home as a result of the New York Mafia family's lack of trust. He ponders in silence how he was removed from command of the crime scene in New York City before being asked to marry his former capo, Vince Antonacci. Vince informs Chicky that bringing Dwight back into the fold will allow him to reclaim his place as the New York Mafia's leader. The families will be pleased if Chicky can convince the former Mafia capo to make a deal with them because they view the general as an underutilized cash cow. Chicky does not believe that a peaceful resolution with Dwight is necessary. He still believes that the general is an annoyance who ought to be removed. The ex-Mafia boss even questions Vince about why they can't simply assassinate the new Tulsa king to end the situation for good. The consigliere had no problem with his former boss's proposal. He believes that as long as Dwight owns the city, Tulsa is not theirs. If the Invernizzi leader's activities will include the Oklahoma region in the New York Mafia's empire, he is willing to comply with whatever the leader requests. After that, Chicky departs for Tulsa to carry out the plan. Following his theft of $500,000 from Dwight Manfredi, Armand Manny Trucy is ready to leave Tulsa. Knowing that his former boss will pursue him for betraying him, he does not, however, drive out of the city. Then, he comes up at Jackie Ming's marijuana farm and informs him that the general is aware of the triad member's attempt on his life. In order to kill the former Mafia capo, Manny offers to take Ming to Dwight. Knowing that his previous boss won't pursue him helps him guarantee his future. Since he wants to include the general's endeavors in his realm, the triad member finds the offer appealing. After informing Ming that Dwight will be most exposed while he is with his partner, Margaret, Manny leads him and his soldiers to the Fenario Ranch. The former Mafia capo and his cronies, which shockingly include Bill Bevilacqua and Cal Thresher, welcome the triad member. His Native American men abandon Ming to Dwight after killing the Chinese army and clearing the area of the corpses. Tyson deserves to kill the man who attempted to kill him and his father, Mark Mitchell, so he takes Jimmy's axe and hands it to him. The right-hand man is stunned by the offer, but he kills Ming despite his love for his father. Goody and Mitch question Dwight about how he was able to set up the trap for the Chinese guys after Bigfoot buries Ming's body. He discloses that Manny came to him with his money, prepared to die as a result of his error. According to the general's beliefs, everyone should have an opportunity to make amends, unless they are a murderer. By giving Manny a chance to correct his error, the former Mafia boss ultimately leads Ming to the trap at the Fenario Ranch. Dwight even says he will discuss bringing him back to work with Margaret. She might not have any trouble forgiving her former employee given the enormous favor he gave her, particularly when Spencer left the property to follow her dreams. There are still 2 episodes left in Taylor Sheridan's Tulsa King's second season, and things don't seem to be getting any better. With the exception of Sylvester Stallone's Dwight, many elements of this season have been lacking in comparison to its predecessor. Nonetheless, J. Will's Tyson is maybe one of the series' greatest letdowns to date. Fans are unhappy that Tyson is getting off the hook without facing any serious consequences since, despite his initial pledge, He has shown himself to be incredibly useless in the criminal justice system. The inevitable conflict between Dwight's group and Kansas City does not excuse Tyson's foolishness in inflaming the conflict. Bill and Dwight grow apart as a result of Tyson carrying out his ill-conceived scheme to exact revenge on his father in spite of Dwight's caution. The majority of fans anticipated that Tyson's careless behavior would have some consequences, but the group doesn't even bother to call him out, and Mitch ends up giving him an escalade instead. This is by no means the only problem that has beset Tulsa King's second season. Thresher is yet another significant example of the writer's significant failure. Even while Sylvester Stallone's portrayal as Dwight is still the season's high point, his role in Tulsa King goes beyond his on-screen persona. Terrence Winter, the showrunner, described their writing partnership after previously praising Stallone's proficiency in other areas of filmmaking. The Rocky star would rewrite me and send it back after he sent a copy to Stallone, Winter continued, adding in certain instances, the actor would even come up with something completely new on his own. Even while the sequel hasn't exactly lived up to the expectations of its predecessor, hopefully things will improve soon because there are still more possible seasons at stake. Although Yellowstone and Tulsa King are very different, they were both created by Taylor Sheridan. A lavishly furnished Western location and a few well-known leads are what they have in common. The creator might have intended for all of the shows to exist in the same universe. Belonging to the anti-hero crime drama subgenre. Starring Kevin Costner and Luke Grimes, Yellowstone is a neo-Western television series that debuted on the Paramount Network in 2018. Between 1883 and 1923, it gave rise to a whole universe that, at various points in time, revolves around the Dutton family. Tulsa King tells the tale of the General Manfredi, a New York mafia capo, who relocates to Tulsa, Oklahoma. The tone is very different, even though the ideas are similar to those in Yellowstone. The similarities and differences between the programs, which are Sheridan's creations, will be examined in greater detail in this article. The story of Tulsa King centers on Dwight, the General Manfredi, the Mafia King. He is an American mafia leader who was recently freed from prison in New York and sent to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he starts organizing a gang to commit murders. Tulsa King is a crime comedy drama set in Oklahoma about Dwight, the General Manfredi, a former capo of New York City, who attempts to establish a new criminal enterprise in the namesake town. Yellowstone blends Western and mafia elements with some neo-Western and family drama components. It is safe to assume that Tulsa King has nothing to do with Yellowstone because the two series have totally distinct themes, places, characters, and tones. Filming for both series takes place in many states and places. While Tulsa King was filmed in Oklahoma and lacked a similar gorgeous backdrop, the Sylvester Stallone starring drama was made in Montana. In Tulsa King, Tatiana Zappardino portrays a mafia princess, yet she is actually a former Marine lieutenant. The actress, who plays Tina, the daughter of Dwight, a New York mafia boss who was exiled to Oklahoma and played by Sylvester Stallone, claimed that her veteran status helped her get the part. After I completed the audition tapes and submitted them, they said, "Sly wants to talk to you," literally within the next few hours. Prior to Veterans Day on November 11th and the Season 2 finale of the show on November 17th, Zappardino, 35, told The Post. In the New Day USA veteran home loan advertisements that she starred in, which were widely broadcast on television in 2019 and 2020, Stallone had previously seen her on screen. Zappardino, who spent 4 years as a public affairs officer in the U.S. Marine Corps, said, "Sly saw my commercials and he loved them. It seems like he thinks she must be a talented actress if she can make something that dull interesting." Veterans Day is a moment to remember those who have sacrificed for their country and celebrate their bravery, according to Zappardino. She remarked, "I am honored to be a veteran and wish my fellow veterans health, joy, and the opportunity to celebrate the holidays with their loved ones." At the recommendation of her stepfather, a Marine recruiter, the San Diego native enlisted in the Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps while enrolled at Jacksonville University. She remarked, "I just wanted to go straight to Broadway." And he said, "Why don't you go to college on a scholarship from the Marine Corps, earn a theatrical degree, serve your time, and then go perform theater?" You go to your lessons after working out at 4 in the morning, she explained. I trained for mountain warfare during the summer and spent some time in a destroyer and a submarine. She applied to be a public affairs officer after becoming a second lieutenant and receiving a degree in music and theater. That's kind of like acting, I thought. But it's really hard to get, and I got it, she said, adding that there are only ever 3 vacancies in the 800-person organization. Zappardino, who was stationed at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina and had previously deployed to Catania, Italy, stated, I'm 22, and I'm telling a crusty old gunny who's been in for 20 years what to do. I won't lie, the Marines were pretty rough on me. However, I'm thankful for it in addition to being proud of it. Off-screen, he treats me nearly like his daughter. She remarked, he's always dropping wisdom bombs on me, and he has so much wisdom. And it's always like, wow, that's something I never thought of. It's interesting to compare their real-life dynamic with her on-screen one, Zappardino said of Stallone's daughter Scarlett, who also appears on the Paramount Plus series. She remarked it's a lot like Dwight and Tina's relationship, where there's love underneath all of the snark. In her portrayal of Tina, who reestablishes contact with Dwight following his 25-year prison sentence, Zappardino draws on her own relationship with her own deceased father. I had a lot of abandonment issues that I believe continued into adolescence since I didn't grow up with him. I always wished I had more time and had given him some leeway at the end of our lives together, she remarked. She and her partner, Alexander, a U.S. Army Green Beret, welcomed a daughter last year. At their base headquarters, his team honors Stallone's 1993 film, Cliffhanger, as they are Stallone fanatics. Everyone on the team is completely enamored with Stallone, she stated. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks, everyone.